If I asked you all today to attend a wedding of some sort, a few of you would agree. Personally, I would agree if I was very hungry because of the free food. But if I asked you, would you like to help prepare for a wedding? I'm pretty sure a lot less of you would agree to do that. And that's what I had to do 2 weeks ago. And you can tell that it wasn't a very pleasurable experience. And I thought to myself, surely it can't get any worse than this. That's because I'm from a Slavic family, and we tend to do our weddings slightly more elaborate than American families do. But then that's when I heard about Indian weddings. And whether you've been to a wedding or not, I'm pretty sure you have a good idea of what it's like. So traditionally, the bride wears a white dress, the guy wears a black suit. And a lot of emotion is certainly in the event, especially when the bride and the groom exchange vows and are officially married. These are all sensations we are familiar with, which is why I would like to give your senses a new taste of weddings by introducing you to Indian wedding traditions. Today we'll focus on 3 types of Indian wedding traditions, which are the pre-wedding, wedding, and post-wedding traditions. Because Indian weddings are diverse, as India itself, the length of the wedding varies, but according to an article by PhD students Sravi and Aparna, titled Indian Wedding Traditions, the average wedding is about a week long, and I thought preparing 2 days before was extremely long, so imagine how much has to go into that. And so continue on with pre-wedding traditions. Mendi is a very common tradition held the night before the wedding, and it parallels to the bachelorette party in the Western culture. All the women from the bride side of the family gather for a type of girls' night, which is filled with music, Bollywood-style dancing, and jokes to help relieve the stress from the bride. During the Mendi, the bride's hands and feet are adorned in intricate reddish-brown designs called the henna, and it is said that the deeper the color, the more stronger the relationship between the bride and the groom will be. Also, tradition has it that the bride does not have to do any work until those designs fade. Another pre-wedding tradition that occurs in the Indian culture is called the tilak. During the tilak, all the males on the bride's side of the family gather with the groom and take turns applying kumkuma to his forehead. That's actually a yellow paste that symbolizes success. The bride's side of the family gifts to the groom, and this serves as them asking that he take care of the bride once she becomes his. This also could be considered a dowry in a sense, and those are illegal now, but in Indian culture it's still expected to give something. Continue on, the diversity of pre-wedding traditions doesn't stop there, but I'm going to stop there because due to the sake of time. At the beginning when I asked you about weddings, most of you thought of black and white clothes, but Indian traditional wedding day clothes are far from them. Instead of a white dress, the bride wears what is called a sari, and it is of a red color. Red symbolizes prosperity and the color of fertility. She also covered in jewelry from head to toe. The groom, on the other hand, wears a plain, simple white or beige suit called a dhoti. Continuing on, because of 88% of Indian marriages are arranged according to a study done by UNICEF, not only is the couple united, but so are the families of the two. This is why families play an important role in the next tradition, which the Culturist article by Divya describes as a whole series of many mini traditions leading up to a main one called Kanyadan. In the first part, the groom and the family travel across town to a mandap, where the ceremony is held, the place where the ceremony is held. The mother of the bride greets the groom to show her approval of the marriage, then everybody goes inside to pray. The bride arrives with her uncle after the bride and the groom exchange their flower wreaths, and the father pours holy water onto his daughter's hand and then places it on the groom's hand, signifying the union of the two. The last wedding day tradition is called the mango fear. This is a tradition done before the ceremony where the bride and the groom circle a pit of fire 4 times. Each round represents something different. The first, Dharma, represents mortality, then Artha, prosperity, Karma, energy and passion, and lastly Moshka, which represents spirituality. Lastly, post-traditions are few compared to the wedding day traditions. Post-wedding traditions in India are not very stressed upon, but they still play an important role in Indian culture. The most common post-wedding tradition is called the Grih Pravesh. When the bride and the groom arrive to their new home, the bride spills a metal pot of rice with her right leg. This action intends to ward off any evil spirits that may come between the couple. Then the couple enter the house together, again with both of the right legs, stepping right foot first, for the same reason that the bride spills the rice. All in all, Indian weddings are far from what we Americans consider, a traditional wedding. And an example of this would just be the picture right here that I bought. This is for the colors that are inside this. You can see a lot of red, a lot of gold. We usually assume an American wedding would just be black and white. So that's just the stark difference between them. Indian wedding traditions are numerous, whether they are pre-wedding, wedding, or post-wedding traditions. In the beginning, when I asked you to think of a wedding, I'm sure it was a far cry from the wedding I described to you today. In fact, most cultures don't follow the white dress and the black suit tradition, and that is what makes each culture's wedding so unique and traditional. Thank you for listening.